So I've been accused from time to time of siding with companies, video game companies, instead of fans. And the people will say I do it because, well, they say, Jaffe, it's because you work in the business and you're still ultimately on that side of the fence, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, that's not what it is. It's just that you're emotional and I'm rational about things. Let me give you a good example of this, where basically about four pieces of news hit the last 48 hours to show you that gamers are once again mad at the wrong people. They're mad at companies, right? Let me give you the stories real quick, very fast. Ubisoft, they're upset for two reasons. They're upset because Far Cry 6 doesn't tend to advance the formula. You see that in the media. A bunch of articles written about it. You see people online saying it's the same fucking thing. They're also upset with Ubisoft about Ghost Recon becoming free-to-play Battle Royale. We don't want that. Grr, grr, grr. Rage, rage, rage. We want our Sam Fisher game, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fair. I understand Ghost Recon and Sam Fisher are different properties. Right? Yeah, Splinter Cell, right. We're mad at Square. Square now puts Avengers on Xbox Game Pass, and it's doing really well from a player concurrent count standpoint. And now they've been promising forever, we're not going to charge for power, we're not going to charge for abilities. And lo and behold, when they finally start to turn a corner on getting a consistent player count, look what they do. Today they just flip a switch, and now you can go and you can buy experience boost, which I don't play the game enough to know if that gives you power, because it's PvE, right? So it's not like you're going to dominate on the battlefield against other humans, I don't think. But it gives you power, it gives you moves. Either way, you're paying for an advantage to the actual gameplay. Well, they backtracked today, and that's happening. Grr, we hate you, Square. You're bad, you're evil. Battlefield 2042 is the last one of just the last 48 hours. People are upset about it. They don't like it. And there's certain things that can be fixed. We talked about this on the stream yesterday. We talked about like the classes and the specialties or whatever being hard to be visually distinct, and they need to fix that. That's easily fixable. Might be a quick sloppy fix, but it's an easy gameplay fix. Although it might not look like the lore they want to set up. And we can't tell who the good guy and the bad guy is. That's easy fix too. But the one that's not so much of an easy fix is people are saying the level design is really bad. I played it. I don't know if it's really bad, but it's certainly, on first blush, after playing for an hour or so, doesn't seem to have a lot of memorable spaces for a lot of interesting moments, but I don't fucking know. But they don't like the level design. They don't like the shooting. Grr, EA, we hate you. Okay. All those, by the way, are very valid things to be upset about. But what's funny is if you put yourself in the shoes of the corporations, of EA or Ubisoft or Square Enix, you would probably, unless you just don't care about making money, you would do the exact same thing. It's the equivalent of working for an ice cream store and you really like pistachio and you order lots of pistachio. Even though you look around and like the salespeople are like, yeah, I know you like pistachio, man, but people want vanilla. And then they want chocolate. You should get some pistachio, have it there, but that should be about 5% of your order. No, pistachio is better. You would order vanilla and you would order chocolate in bulk, right? Unless you didn't want to stay in business. The enemy, unless you're talking about toxic work environments filled with sexual predators, I mean, that's Ubisoft for you from what I understand. They're the enemy in that way. But in terms of these game designs, the enemy are your fellow gamers who, I guarantee you, come Monday, we will look at the box office of video games, which is UK box products. That's all we have right now on a weekly. And Far Cry 6 will be number one. Just like a lot of people like to complain about how bloated and bad Valhalla is, Assassin's Creed, best-selling Assassin's Creed of all time. I can't speak for the Battle Royale Ghost Recon game because Ubisoft struggled to get into that space, but assuming it's a good game, it'll probably do fine. Avengers, will probably do better. They'll probably make money now. Again, the thing with Avengers is they've done a number of little gimmick things, whether it's new content or now putting it on Game Pass, that's popped their concurrency up, and then it just drops again. I mean, there's nothing they can do other than make a better game that's going to fix the fact that people peel off after they come back and get a taste of it and go, yeah, there's nothing here. So this isn't going to solve that. But I'm sure they'll do well while there are people there. There's a great talk. I couldn't find it online to link it, but if you search, Ben Cousins used to run the Medal of Honor free-to-play game that was on PC. I think it was called Medal of Honor Heroes. It's kind of a cartoony version of World War II, which is interesting. Those wacky Nazis. But anyway, and I played it. It was okay. It's a fun game. But the take of his speech and his slideshow that was online was that, look, man, we started out with the best of intentions. Our whole pitch was, we want to do free-to-play right. We want to do free-to-play for gamers. And so we're not selling power. We're just selling cosmetics. Well, lo and behold, after a couple of, 6 months, 8 months, whatever their runway was, EA comes to them and says, we're going to have to shut this down. You guys aren't making a goddamn lick of money. And they said, well, give us a chance. Let us try to pivot. And they pivoted by going pay for power. And sure enough, the game was never a smash, but the game became profitable. They made money. And as much as they said it was really fascinating. You could go into the forums and see people saying, we hate this, we despise this is awful. But ultimately, that ran incredibly counter to what was happening in the bank account of the Medal of Honor account, because money was coming in for the first time. Battlefield is probably going to be a pretty good-sized hit. Right? So it's I get it. I get why core gamers are upset, but I don't think you can really be upset with these companies. I think you should, and you really can't be upset with the average gamer. That's like being a music aficionado and being upset because I don't know, a mainstream pop singer is topping the charts and not your really much, more talented indie band. It's like, well, most people don't listen to the music the same reason you do. Most people don't play games for the same reason that people that watch these videos or watch streams or go on forums and things like that. That's not why they're playing games, right? They're just like fucking around with their friends. It's social. It looks pretty on their TV, and they move on with their fucking lives, right? So ultimately, here's two things I think you should do. Not that you need my advice, but I've decided, and it's you need it. You need it, and I'm giving it to you. One thing is, this is past because people have gotten conditioned a little bit. Remember, people were all upset about Sony raising prices? $70. That's horrible. That's no way. Well, Sony's one of the few companies that's still making big budget games that isn't continuing to reach in your pocket for more money after you've paid. So, support that shit. Not that you're not. I know. It's not like they're not making money. They're doing great. But support what you love. But the other thing is, what happens in every single commercial medium, art medium, and it's happening here, and it can't be pleasant if you have a problem with it, but it happens in music and television and movies, is that the aficionados, the hardcore, get pushed out to the margins. Because as the medium grows and becomes more popular, you have to make your money, and you have to sort of simplify and speak to a lower, not lowest, but lower common denominator more often than not. And there are edge cases, of course. There are movies that break, that do really well, that are not mouth-breathy, stupid movies, of course, just like everything else. But more often than not, if you're running a business, you aim for the biggest target, and the biggest target, unless your niche, is you spend a lot of money for the mainstream, right? So I'm playing, like, right now, I'm not a big shooter guy to begin with, but like Battlefield 2042, I talked about this on the stream yesterday, I walked away from after an hour. I was bored. But I've been playing Insurgency Sandstorm I know it's on console now. I've been playing it on PC for the last week, and I love it. And it doesn't look anywhere near as good. It's not as technically ambitious. It's not getting the marketing. But there's a solid, very active community, and it plays really great. And I'm terrible at it. And if I'm terrible at a game, I quit. But this one I don't. Because it's very tense. It's very exciting. It feels like SOCOM. It's a better version in a lot of ways than Rainbow Six, which I know is also trying to be like tense and stuff. But that game still feels too arcadey. And the point is, there are other things on the fringes that you can play that are AA and indie. But a lot of gamers are like, well, I don't fucking want that. It's like, well, you're going to have to probably, more and more, if you're a hardcore gamer, you're going to have to start choosing. Because you can't really get mad at the companies. They're just going where the money is. you can't really get mad at the core, the mainstream gamers, right? Because they're just like, dude, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what you think about the shooting in Battlefield 2042. My friends have it. My 12 friends that I went to college with, and now we're in our 20s scattered all over the world. That's what we're playing. I don't give a fuck if the level design doesn't allow for a variety of tactical scenarios that you can change. This is the one that Fred's got. And Fred likes video games more than us, and he bought us all a copy. We're playing Battlefield. Fuck off, right? You're not going to change those guys. So, get out your comfort zone, baby. There's a lot of games out there that are phenomenal, that are doing just what you asked for. And you're not playing them because they don't look pretty. Come on now. You're mad at the wrong people. You're mad at the goddamn wrong people. You should be mad at yourself for not having a more advanced gamer palette. I hope you're well. It's Friday, which is good. All my days blend together since the pandemic and since I do this because I love what I do. So it's not like, the weekend, I'm taking a break. I'm going to work on the weekend. But I think it's because Halloween and movies and the kids are off school. I don't know. It's Friday. Fuck you. Hope you're well.